Hey, this is the World Advice Channel too. What I want to talk about today is the topic of should immigrants assimilate to the countries that they live in? And the simple answer to that question is no, absolutely not. Immigrants should not assimilate to the countries that they move to. And the reason why I say that, whether it could be people of African descent, South Asian descent, East Asian descent like Chinese and so on and so forth, or any other group of people on the planet, is that assimilation means, um, that you give up your culture, you forget your cultural identity, and so on and so forth, and you just simply consider yourself, if you like, for example, move to Canada, America, Britain, etc., any of those countries in the Western world. I just consider myself Canadian. I consider myself American. I consider myself British. That's what assimilation consists of. You just completely forget your cultural identity, your customs, your belief systems, even maybe the foods you eat, all that type of stuff, which absolutely is not necessary for that matter, okay? And the reason why I say assimilation is not necessary, aside from the fact that it's really messed up in the first place, is down to the fact that even though the argument that the people who always make is the same argument, oh my God, yes, I can definitely roll my eyes because you hear it all the time, you know, oh well, where do your loyalties lie? For example, for crying out loud, like what if, for example, you're Chinese American, what if America and China were to go to war, or what if you're Jamaican American, and what if Jamaica and America went to war, or what if America and India went to war and you're Indian American, and oh my God, this things you hear a million times. The simple answer to that question is that that is so easy to debunk, because the truth of the matter is that when it comes to that whole topic, for crying out loud, is that you have to also you have to take in consideration, okay, that the truth of the matter is, first and foremost, how likely is that actually happen? Okay, the truth of the matter is, war among nations, especially certain nations, is very unlikely. What makes you think America and Jamaica are ever going to go to war? Like, who comes up with things like this? Like, why would Jamaica and America go to war anyway? Why would India and America go to war? Like, look at how far apart they are from each other. Even with military jets and stuff like that, it would be quite hard to really fight a war against two of them, if anything. Like things like that is exactly what I'm trying to get at here. Like, what is a likelihood of the nation you are a part of going to war for the most part? If you're of a certain ancestry of that happening in the first place, okay? What's a likelihood of that? That's the first thing I want to get across. And secondly, to add to that as well, even if that were to happen, that's more down to the fault of the government of the nation itself, not necessarily the people. Nations that America would go to war to are obviously nations, that of course maybe don't treat their citizens well and maybe attacked another nation and so on and so forth. But that's a fault of the government. What the hell does that have to do with the people of that nation, for that matter? For that matter, for crying out loud. Like, what the hell does that? How does that represent dumb? And that's what I'm trying to get across here. So that whole argument they make is so dumb and annoying, and you hear it all the time, and it's repetitive, and it's overdone and overplayed, and it's like something you would have heard in like the 1980s when people were starting to immigrate to other countries, for the first time, and like whether it could be like Canada or Britain, particularly Canada and Britain, specifically out of the two, Britain. The arguments you used to hear all the time, which everybody, you know, at the time, a lot of people believed it, but then later on, like a decade or two later, people pretty much realized, yeah, that's not an argument. Even the racist people realized at the time we cannot make, because it's so outdated. It's so easy to debunk. Like that's what I'm trying to get across here. Like those arguments and those pointers are so outdated. Like the truth of the matter is, that whole idea of like where do your loyalties lie is so stupid, because the truth of the matter is you can love both, okay? You can love the history or the culture you belong to, the race you belong to. Let's be honest, that's how they think anyway. And you can also be proud of the nation you live in, okay? You can do both. Like, I don't know why people think that in life you can only do one of the two things for not only a lot of things, but for something like this or this caliber, for something like this for that matter, okay? You can obviously do both. You can be proud of the nation you are a part of and also proud of your heritage. The idea that you can only be proud of one is so stupid, okay? Like the people who say that are like the type of people who say that, oh, in life you can only do things one way or the other. Sometimes yes, but sometimes it can be a mix of both. Like there's something known as compromise. If compromise was something that didn't exist, we wouldn't have the word known as compromise, okay? Not everything in life has to be, it's either this way or that way. Like, I hate people like that for that matter, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to that particular topic, though, okay, that whole topic that, oh, you can only pick one of the two, obvious common sense would indicate that is that people can love different things. Just like if you have kids, for example, you can love one son and you can love the other son as well. You can love them equally or something for that matter, okay? Which is common sense for that matter, okay? You don't have to just say, oh, I just love one person or I love this other person. Make up your mind. You know, you can only pick one. Like that's so dumb. That's what I'm trying to get across here. And let alone to add to that just as well, to be quite honest with you, aside from that point, when it comes to that whole argument of you can only do that, there's also something known as actions speak louder than words, okay? And when it comes to actions speak louder than words, in this case, it means actions speak louder than just what you assume, for that matter. Just like what if, like, for example, a situation happens in a nation, like maybe America and someone maybe for example is of Jamaican American descent, like maybe a disease is going around, it's killing a lot of people in America. What if someone were to just simply say, okay, I'm just gonna go and start my helping out the people across the nation because I'm proud of of the nation I live in, but he's also still proud of his heritage as a Jamaican. Like, how the hell can you say that you can't do both? Like, that's so dumb. These people do this all the time. It's always, well, you can only love this or that or this and that for that matter, okay? You can only pick one of the two, which is so stupid. You can do both, especially when you take in consideration that self love is tied into I mean, self love of the group you belong to is tied into self love of yourself, and self love of yourself is tied to happiness. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to a nation of people, for them to truly, and not even just a nation, a group of people, more like, for them to truly, of course, feel good about themselves, they have to be proud of the culture and the group they belong to. Saying that, oh, I have to just simply assimilate and all that type of stuff. This makes absolutely no sense. That's so dumb because then you're gonna have a group of people who don't love themselves and hate themselves, which can cause a lot of problems. And not only for that matter, it prevents them from truly enjoying their lives because they're not happy because they're miserable, and that's the truth of the matter. Okay, besides, the truth of the matter is what I think when people talk about assimilation. I think the issue people have is more the issue of like some of the bad customs. Like for example, Indians. I know it's one thing I know is about Indians. A lot of Indians, at least, especially the ones who just come here, is that they tend to do certain habits that piss people off. Whether it could be walking out on the road while people are trying to drive, or maybe, for example, you know, not being, the best at driving when it comes to how they drive. They're just more reckless when they drive and things like that. But those are things you can change. Saying that, oh, well, you have to assimilate and give up your culture just for just simply getting rid of bad habits makes absolutely no sense. You can obviously change those habits. You can start telling them, okay, maybe don't stand in the road and stuff, and they can still be proud of the heritage that they come from. So this whole idea that you have to give up your whole identity and this and that, for that matter, for whatever one reason or the other, is completely untrue. And not only is completely untrue, it's just straight up bigoted, especially when we live in a country, at least here in Canada, and not just Canada, but for the Western world, where people who tend to be white or come from certain white ethnicities, to be more exact, tend to say that they're proud to be Irish, proud to be Italian, They're proud to be maybe Portuguese. They're proud to be Greek. Why don't you hear people complaining about them? You know, saying that they're proud to be of this certain particular nationality. Why does it always have to be people of color? So that's a simple answer to that question. So yes, in short, you can be proud of the culture that you come from. So no, immigrants do not have to assimilate to the country that they belong to. Okay, you can integrate, but you do not have to assimilate. That's the truth of the matter. Okay, so anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed it. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.